Well, it's a hot one out in the shop today, I'm telling you. It's been a couple of weeks since I posted a video, so what the holdup has been, the clutch and the associated parts I ordered from Pelican Parts, and I got the bearings pretty quick, but the SPEC clutch, pressure plate, friction plate ships directly from them, and it apparently is taking a little while. But we can go ahead and look at these bearings and maybe get them installed and move the ball down the field. What the heck? So here's what I did get. This should be the throwout bearing, and then these are the two needle bearings for the shift fork, right? And then this should be the pilot bearing. So let's break those out and take a look at them. Okay, so the throwout bearing, it is a seal bearing. You don't have to pack it, right? And then there's a series of shims, and one of those rings should be like a keeper. So what we'll do is systematically take apart the original and make sure we get all this stuff in the right order. Then let's look at these. Okie dokie, needle bearings for the shifter fork. They appear to be the correct size. So we'll probably tackle that in just a moment. And the pilot bearing. So let's look at the pilot bearing first. I want to make sure it fits correctly. And then we can go ahead and install it in the rear of the crank. So I guess this Series 2 pilot bearing does not go down inside of the crank. Caliper says 35 millimeter, maybe 35.5. There on the flywheel, confirm that. So this is just going to sit in the flywheel. And I remember when I got the flywheel back from the machine shop for resurfacing, they had removed the pilot bearing, and it was just like wire tied to the flywheel. So that follows that they couldn't machine it with the pilot bearing in place. So this is a sealed bearing as well, no need to lubricate. And let's see if we can tap it home into the flywheel. Okay, that went nicely. I just used a 24 millimeter socket, ether right in there. And I also measured the opening here for the shaft. It's 15 millimeters. That matches up with the shaft on the torque tube. So everything is lining up for now. All right, shift fork needle bearings, 15 millimeter. All right, put it in a vise, drive her home. You could put it in a press, but vise is quicker and easier. And these aren't super tight. If your shift fork is ultra rusty, it may be necessary to put them in a press. Okay, I greased them up, drove them back in with the socket. Look better. Now, I know I speculated whenever I first looked at these originals that they may be good to go. However, when I looked really close at them, you can see there's like a spacer in between the bearing cage and the edge of the shell that's busted. So, I mean, you can shake the thing and it basically rattles. So, no, that's no good. I'm glad I got these. All right, well, let's slide the shaft in there. Oh yeah, that's quite nice. No resistance. If you remember, I had some little indentations on the shaft from the old bearings, and took some fine, you can see what's left of them there, but I'm not feeling them at all. I mean, this is nice and smooth, so I think this clutch fork is good to go. Okay, so here's the what we believe to be the original pressure plate off the 924 turbo, and you can see there's a split ring in there, and at least one shim. That's what holds that throwout bearing in place. Now, I won't be able to install this because I'm getting a new pressure plate, but we can take it apart, and if I get confused, I can just watch my own video. The magic of YouTube. So let me put some penetrating oil on that and extract that that capturing ring. Okay, so the lock ring is actually kind of in between that spacer and the groove. So if you just kind of rock the pressure plate to one side, see how it makes a gap? Then you can use a tool like this to pry out the locking ring. Alright, so here you see the locking ring, and then in the proper orientation, this is the ring that sits actually beneath it. See how that fits in there? And it's captured by that groove. So now if we lift off the pressure plate, right, there's the rest of the bearing. Okay, so the first thing off is this kind of fingered shim, and the fingers have a contour to them, and those are pointed, beveled towards the bearing. And then there's another shim ring under that, rather thin one. See if I can get it out of there with one hand. So that nestles down in that groove, all the way down in there. Okay, so yeah, these components would definitely have to go together in the right sequence, or else it could really monkey things up. Yeah, this bearing, I mean, surprisingly, it's not terrible, but I think you noticed that locking ring was rather loose on this. I mean, we'll see how the new one goes together, how you know, tight all the components are. Not tight in they don't move, but you know, just not flopping around, because you'll throw out bearing, when it gets tired, it'll make some noise. It'll kind of rattle and just doesn't feel right. So the new bearing came with the same locking ring, the other ring that it nestles into, the beveled fingered washer. It actually came with 3 of those lower rings. They're all the same thickness, so just curious about that. It may enable you to get that tighter on the fingers of the throwout bearing, perhaps, of the the pressure plate. I don't know. I'm not sure why they did that. It's potentially a wear item, but just unknown why they shipped 3. be that as it may, I mean, I've got all the components I need to replace the original, and they are identical to the original. And then finally, my last comment regarding the wear on the bearing. Yeah, this new one is super smooth. And then when I turn this one, I can actually just barely kind of feel the rollers inside of there. And it does have a little play. They're, you know, less play, but no sensation of rollers at all. You can actually kind of feel those guys inside of there. So yeah, I would say this guy's worn out. And then obviously we replace the pressure plate, so we don't have to worry about wear on the fingers and all that stuff. So that's about all I can record at this time until I get the SPEC clutch. And the first thing will be to install this new throwout bearing on the pressure plate. I also need to confirm that I've got the correct alignment tool for the friction plate, because I did not order one of those. So let's go take a look at that, because I've got a bunch of them, but I'm not sure if I have one for 924. Yeah, you think I've done a few clutches? Holy crap, there's a million of them. All right, I'm gonna bring a couple examples over. These are from 944, 914, and Boxster. So I got 3 flavors to pick from. Let's see if I can pick the right one. And we have a winner. Yay. So, you know, one of those may come with the kit. I don't know. With the SPEC clutch kit. Who knows? So I'm good to go. All right. Hopefully that ships soon. I can continue on. I'm going to go ahead and post this. And should be able to put the clutch in on the next video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Oh, by the way, I had some comments regarding the motor mounts on Facebook, on the 924 forum. Everybody, a lot of guys say these suck. They're rough. You'll feel every engine vibration. At this point, frankly, I just want to get the engine in the car, and then if that's the case, I'll replace them later. So and I'm not willing to put the ones that came off the engine back in, because they're pretty degraded. So I do appreciate the comments. However, I'm going to move forward with these, and the extra set that I inadvertently ordered has been sold. Sorry, big fish. So there you go. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.